there are personalities that make statements and everybody hooks up to it, try to look at it and try to be sure if it is a consistent statement or just a one-off situation. Philip, is surprisingly, Wole Soyinka is criticizing something that came out from Asiwaju. It's been unheard of since 2023. He asked us to give him 1 year to evaluate the government before speaking. And 1 year gone, 2 years gone. We've not really seen anything strong coming from Wole Soyinka against the government, or at least fairly critiquing what they have. But he has just said that Asiwaju didn't need to send our soldiers to Republic of Benin. He should have sent Seyi, his son, and his battalion of soldiers that are always guiding him. I mean, what problem does he have with that? Some are saying, oh, is it that this old man is suffering from dementia, or tomorrow he will come and say, oh, this is not what is happening?
Thank you very much. Wole Soyinka is a respected elder statesman. He's a mentor. He's a leader, and he's an activist. He's known for his outspokenness. The fact that he took a break for a while does not mean that Wole Soyinka has forgotten himself. Although yes, it looked as if he had lost his voice, but he had found his voice. What he has said is not as if he had not seen anything wrong with the Tinubu government before now. What Soyinka have done in the past is to take a proper assessment of the government, so that when they will come out with cogent point and reasons, just like this one. He said Tinubu need not send the military to Benin to quell the coup, because what the son Seyi has as a son of a president is enough to quell any insurrection. He said this because he was at Ikoyi for an event, and he saw the kind of convoy that Seyi Tinubu came with. He was taken aback. So at first he thought it was a movie, like a set, but that a young man broke out of it and came to greet him, and he was made to understand he said the president's son. He was wondering, where do they get that from? See, that is the real Wole Soyinka. He do not shy away from speaking to authority when he needs to. He has just done that, and that is what he's known for.
All right, let me come to you, Kinkley. All over the world, presidents' children are well protected. The manner and the what method and how they protect them. The details are usually not up for public consumption. Maybe in Nigeria, because we like visibility, for optics purpose, decide to put on men with uniform. It could have been DSS guys, with suits, staying in a different vehicle. Meanwhile, this is the guy they are actually protecting. But maybe the optics, true Baba out of balance. So what could be the problem? Does it have what to measure it with? What was Seyi supposed to move with?
Well, Seyi was supposed to move very quietly and not as flamboyant as he's moving now.
But he's almost a politician. I mean, the way
he's a politician,
he has many groups, city boys, a lot of all those.
He being a politician, his father has ordered that all politicians, security from all politicians should be withdrawn. So if he's basing his fact on that he's a politician, that's fine, it's okay. But if he's basing his fact that he's the president's son, there's a way it should also be treated. He did not say he doesn't deserve to have security. He said the magnitude of it. The magnitude of
it. See where I'm coming.
Yes.
Not to shut you down. I mean, I know you are trying to explain something very important. It is the risk or the threat that determines what you are going to deploy against it.
Okay.
Could that also be a demonstration or an indication of the kind of insecurity we have in Nigeria?
Okay, so if the whole security protects Seyi Tinubu, who protects?
No, what I'm trying to say, the measure
I understand.
The forces deployed just to take care of him.
So his father should fix the insecurity in Nigeria. This is quite simple. We don't need arithmetics or any
matrix
to explain this thing. That means they recognize that there are insecurity. America is the most threatened nation on earth. I don't know if you know that. It's the most threatening nation on earth is America. But you don't hear them close down schools. You don't hear them close down airports. You don't hear them close down universities. No matter the threat of insecurity. Because if you are closing these things down, you are carrying to the violence. Now, the people are advising us, don't go home for Christmas because of insecurity.
It means you have submitted.
You have submitted to the insecurity. Now, if Seyi Tinubu is carrying that kind of maximum security, from what we have seen from other past presidents before, we've not seen things like this before. The massiveness of it. If you go to his house in Asokoro, I mean, you will see the guard that is mounted over there. Most of the time, if you go to other presidents, they are not that extravagantly open. Even in the West, like in America, I think what should be done, or what is it, there is decorum in doing everything.
All right, let me come to lifestyle and all that matters. It said that we've not seen that type before. I think I've seen Buhari's son Yusuf always driving his power bike. I've never really seen battalion of soldiers going with the guy, though a much younger person than compared to
it's not that much younger.
Well, not that much, but still younger than
no, their age difference is within a bracket.
He wasn't involved in government, living his life. I've seen many times his power bike, Yusuf and all that. So maybe do you think that is an analogy Wole Soyinka is drawing from, that if the son of the president is going on with this kind of armament, I mean, where are we headed?
Subtly, Wole Soyinka has taken a stride on the Tinubu's government. He has quietly made his point that, look, Mr. Tinubu, you are not doing the right thing. The constitution do not allow your son to have the kind of battalion he has as security apparatus guiding him. That, like he rightly said, there is insecurity in the land. If you want to secure lives and property, which is your primary assignment, it should not be the one of your son only that the whole battalions of armies should guide to secure his life. It should be the entire nation. You see, what Wole Soyinka has done quietly is to let Tinubu know that you are not doing what is expected of you, and what is that thing that is expected to do to ensure that the lives and property of Nigerians are secured, and that if you must go to the Republic of Benin to restore democracy, you have to start from home. Because if you are deploying all of this to secure your son only, what happened to other Nigerians? Why would you have to deploy Nigerian army with hard-earned taxpayer money to sponsor our efforts to Benin Republic to quell a coup that's a eternal affair there, where you are not able to handle the issue of insecurity back home? This is what Wole Soyinka is saying quietly, using Seyi as a point of making his grievances known to Tinubu.
All right, let me come to you. There's an adage in my place that you watch the dance from where you are standing, and that thing. So that thing affects us in Nigeria a lot. Until it gets to your doorstep, you don't say anything. Even this insecurity ravaging everywhere. People are not saying anything. The questions Nigeria might be asking, had it been Wole Soyinka didn't directly run into Seyi and the battalion of soldiers following him, would Soyinka lend his voice against this thing? Now, because it has happened to him, he saw it. He saw them. It was like he thought they were acting film. Is it until the thing touches us, gets our skin, until it's just before me like this microphone, that we can speak as Nigerians?
Well, based on the information you have, that you can speak. Wole Soyinka is quite old now. He's above 90.
Is he above 90?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Above 90. I hope I'm correct about that. I think he's above 90. God has graciously graced him with good health and a good life. That's why a 90-year-old person doesn't really move about like that, So I'm sure most of the things that comes to his notice, he speaks about. But the thing is that we don't have to say we won't speak about it, especially those that can speak about things that are happening. We won't speak about it because it doesn't concern me. No, when there are ills in society, there are people that are bound to speak about it.
Yeah.
I know, for example, let me use an example from America. Bernie Sanders, he speaks about almost everything that happened, whether it's social, whether it's political, whether it's economical, because they all culminate in affecting the American society. Now, we saw Seyi, you said it here.
Yeah.
What was Seyi going to do with Gumi? Visiting Gumi?
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
What was he going to do there? What was she going to do during Ramadan, trying to share food and campaigning for his father? Well, if he's a party man, he should tell us he's a party man. If he's a politician or a businessman, we should know. We have not come out to tell us that he's a party man. He's acting or living by the dictates of the president, and all that. So those are the things we see.
All right, I've also I've also confirmed that Wole Soyinka is 91 years old. Let's give him that credit. It doesn't mean that Nigerians were actually expecting too much from an old man, because they've been blaming him for not coming out to speak out, for not coming. I mean, this is a 91 years old man. He has paid his price.
You see, you can't say Nigeria was expecting too much for Wole Soyinka, because Wole Soyinka has put himself in that pedestal.
But now he's aging.
Yes, that's
91 years old.
An advocate of the people. He speaks, he fight on behalf of the people, and he has shown it in several occasions, right from the Civil War, how he went to a radio station and take over the radio station and all of that. All those records are there.
You expect him to be doing that at 91 years old?
At 91 years old, as an elder, because they said the words of elders are words of wisdom. Nigeria expect even more from him now to advise government not to be criticizing the way he used to, but his own advice will accumulate into both criticism and direct.
Okay, let me put this more directly. A lot of people had come out to say, oh, he eventually fell under tribal bigotry somewhere along the line, that is not criticizing Asiwaju simply because he's a fellow Yoruba man. Do you subscribe to that?
Well, I happen to be one of those who said it. I don't run away from the truth, because his behavior and his antecedent, right from the time of the APC government, right from Buhari time to this very moment he spoke out, that he found his voice. Wole Soyinka has been different from the Wole Soyinka we used to know. He has. We tend to see Nigeria. We're seeing some tribal sentiment in him, because the way he came after Goodluck Jonathan and his wife, he had not done something close to that. Even in this issue of Seyi that he spoke, if it to be the time of Goodluck Jonathan, Wole Soyinka would have taken a different step. Maybe I will agree with you, but that age has caught up with him. He can't be as active as he used to be. So we may excuse you for that. But again, it is on record that Wole Soyinka had not behaved like the elder statesman Nigeria expected of him. That's why I said Nigeria is not expecting too much from him, because if he had been doing it when he was younger, we expect more good advice from him at this age. But he wasn't doing that up to this very moment that he had done. So that's why some of us are saying that he has found his voice to say that, Tinubu, if your son is taking all this security alongside, why do you need to send, batch of army to Republic of Benin to quell the coup when he had more than enough to do? You should have just sent Seyi and his team to go there and quell.
Okay, let me come to. He did not categorically talk about the coup in the Republic of Benin in this regard, and also not necessarily faulting sending Nigerian troops there or fighter jets there, even though Obasanjo didn't need to do that when he restored constitutional order in Sao Tome and Principe, which is the leadership we talked about Falana, what he said a while ago, which is the leadership example that Falana was talking about. Now, between 2023 till now, can you think or conclude that it is age that has affected Shole's silence, greater silence, or it is simply because Asiwaju is his right-hand person?
Okay, we can't move away from the fact that ethnic, religious bigotry has crept into our political space. We saw Buhari rule from 2015 to 2023. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And we didn't see any voice from the northern part, especially from the Fulani Hausa community, coming to tell him that most of the things you are doing, they are not right. Now,
I said maybe Dr. Ahmed once in a while.
That was even very
once in a while. No, once in a while. And maybe towards the end of what is tenure, maybe Shehu Sani small.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But we have a lot of voices there that everybody was quiet. Even our dear Mr. Atiku was not staying in Nigeria.
He wasn't even in Dubai.
He was in Dubai. He couldn't see anything. So now that this thing, so we saw him. All the military apparatus that time, almost all of them were occupied by
and this model of decamping from a PDP, not necessarily PDP, any other position party into APC, started vehemently under Buhari, and Atiku never condemned
it. But now it's full blown. Do you understand? So that's why most of the time when some things are happening, you need to nip them in the bud. Do you understand? And I always talk about Lee Kuan Yew. He said he made sure religion, ethnicity didn't play a role in the building up of Singapore. If we have patriots that are real patriots, I'm of the opinion that someone like Professor Wole Soyinka Emeritus has aged a little bit, and he may not have the zest or the energy or the mental faculty to criticize or feel on the street what people are feeling now. People are really feeling, I mean, a lot of economic impact on them. So we can excuse him. Do you understand? But of course, we can also go out from the fact that even Farotimi and Pastor Bakari, they also not kept quiet. Do you understand? We've seen them come out vehemently against the president.
All right, Philip, let me come to you. Are we expecting Wole Soyinka to be lending his voice from now on, or this is just a one-off situation?
You see, we cannot speak for Professor Wole Soyinka at the moment because we don't know his
Are we expecting one? No, we're even speaking for ourselves. Yes. The question is about are we expecting him
or we are not expecting him? Because Wole Soyinka as it is today is unpredictable. We don't know what.
So should we expect him?
We shouldn't. Whatever we get from him, we take because we cannot.
So our expectations are zero.
Yes, because like he said, age is not inside. He might wake up tomorrow and say something different.
All right. So Wole Soyinka, Philip said we can't even quantify whether to expect you to talk again or not. Essentially, the issue of coup in Benin Republic is beyond Seyi going there to quell it. That was just saying that Seyi didn't need to be going about with military forces. We'll be right back.